Hello, Forex. First of all, thank you for accepting my invite, and I'm very honored and excited to talk to you. My channel started a little while ago, but the Drip is my first project. We believe a lot in this project, and in Italy, there is a lot to grow. And as of today, with this interview, it gives us the possibility to grow even more. We have a few questions for you, and want to thank you for dedicating your time. We will then have to translate after, so everything is clear. Thanks to Mary, that is here with me today by my side to help me to this interview. Let's get started. Mary, welcome into this conversation.
Thank you. And thank you, Forex, for this opportunity. Like Mauricio said, I'm here to help him with his English. And we have a few questions, and we wanted to ask you a few things.
All right, nice to
Um,
meet you. Thank you for having me here. This is very important that we do outreach, and I know you've been a part of Drip for a while now, and I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's get started. And what we wanted to ask you, first of all, is the Drip Network. Where did the idea come from? Tell us a little bit the story behind the birth of the token, because we're really curious.
Okay, so the idea came from the fact that I saw a lot of my friends getting into these daily ROI type of projects, and a lot of them were only lasting for weeks, sometimes not even weeks. And I saw there was a strong demand there, but it wasn't being implemented correctly. So I sat down with my partner and we started just coming up with different mechanics that we could implement to make it be sustainable and give people the market fit and the use case that they wanted, but in a way that benefited them in the long run, not just benefited insiders or the developer. So we came up with a type of mechanic where the ROI that's being paid out is not coming from inflation. So it's not diluting the value of the token to pay out the reward. And really, our major focus was creating a team structure that rewards people for onboarding other users in a fair way, in a way that doesn't drive rewards all the way up to the top, essentially, and in a way that isn't diluting the value of the token itself. So that was the main goal for Drip.
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay. Okay, so another thing we wanted to ask you was just an explanation on the max payout. Here in Italy, there are a lot of theories on the deadline of the first tokens available after 365 days. So us from the crypto Italian simply think that it's the deposit changes. Whether it's for the hydration or the purchase of the drips, changes it make max put out and postpone the dates of the 365 days accordingly. Is that correct?
All right, so let me explain exactly what the 365 max payout is. When someone makes an initial deposit in Drip into what we call the faucet staking contract, they make 1% daily ROI, which means they're getting 1% of their principal every day up until 365%. So essentially a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once they hit this 365% of their principal, the ROI will stop paying out. So they'll hit their max payout. They will no longer be making 1% on their principal. But if they compound their interest back into their principal, or they make an initial deposit, or they refer someone else into the system, which acquires them a referral fee, then that increases their principal and pushes out their ability to earn 365 on the additional capital that was added to their principal. So so nothing prevents people from buying the token or continuing to participate in the network after 365 days. It's just limiting people from being able to infinitely drain the system without doing positive actions in the system, whether it's a deposit or a compound or a referral. Now, the great thing about that is this, since it's only 1% daily ROI, this 365 limit really only comes into play after a year has passed. Mm-hmm. And Drip has just hit its 1 year mark 5 days ago, which means that we're just now starting to hit max payouts. And actually, 5 days ago, the largest whale in the system, who is draining tens of thousands of dollars worth of capital from Drip every day, just hit his max payout. So that means he can no longer drain the system. So that is one of our strongest sustainability mechanisms, and it's just coming into play now. So that's something that I'm very excited about, because we have a lot of plans moving forward with Drip, and being able to launch these new mechanisms, these new use cases and functionality into Drip, knowing that they're not just going to be taken advantage of or exploited by very early whales who are continuing to join the system, is very positive. So that's the 365. That's where that comes into play. If someone that comes in early or whatever the case is hits their max payout and they decide they want to make another deposit or another stake, they can do that and continue to earn. So it's really only limiting people who are only draining from the system, and that's where 365 comes in.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so the next thing we wanted to ask you was about the will the BR34P token need to receive network rewards also be attached to the drip, or do you expect updates in the future? Sorry.
Okay, so the BREAP token, BR34P, is a fork of the REAP token, which is the first token I ever launched. I launched it about 2 years ago, and it's a reflective reward token, which essentially means when you hold it, every time someone does a transaction, there's a 2% tax on it. 1% of that tax gets distributed as rewards to all holders. Another 1% is burned. It's removed from circulation. And so the REAP token was the first token to do this. Sorry, something on the background. So the REAP token was the first token to ever do this, and now a lot of tokens have taken up that protocol because it's really effective and it's really clean the way it does it. Now, we wanted to take this over to BSC because the fees on the Ethereum network and the congestion was really getting out of control. So we forked over to BSC and then implemented BREAP as part of the DRIP protocol. And the way we did this is by forcing you to hold BREAP in your wallet in order to get or receive referral bonuses. So in order to get direct referrals, you need to hold at least 2 BREAP in your wallet. And then as you hold more BREAP in your wallet, you can unlock more downline rewards, which means when you refer somebody and they refer somebody, you can access a referral bonus when it's your turn in the upline to get a bonus from that person who just did a deposit. Now, we wanted to ensure that it wasn't a referral structure that is driving capital up to the top and concentrating capital at the top. And we also wanted to ensure that it wasn't using the same kind of model as a multi-level referral structure where multiple people are getting a reward for one positive action. For example, someone does a deposit, the person above them gets 2%, person above them gets 4%, person above them gets 6%. We didn't want that kind of model because it becomes unsustainable. And as the system gets larger, eventually it becomes too top heavy and cannot sustain. So the way that we implemented our reward protocol is that only one person gets a reward whenever anybody does a deposit or compound, and who gets that reward is dependent on the amount of BREAP you hold and where you are in the upline from the person that does the deposit. So BREAP plays an important role in drip, and it will continue to play this role. There's no plans to change the way that BREAP functions in drip, and you know, it would have a major negative impact on BREAP if we were to change the way that BREAP is implemented in drip. So there's definitely no plans to do that, and I think that answers your question. If you want me to clarify any more, I can.
Capito? O vuoi che spiega ancora? No, capito?
No,
Chiaro?
okay.
No, clear.
Clear.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so regarding the new web interface,
Yeah.
do you know more or less the date when it'll be released? Because we saw your video and we can't wait.
Yeah. So right now we are preparing for the piggy bank and pigpen contracts that will be deployed and going live next week. We then have to do the migration of the dogs token. So we have the animal farm. The animal farm is our yield farming protocol, and it has two major tokens that are implemented in the animal farm. We were going to go live with this last Thursday, but part of our animal farm protocol is that we're doing something called collateral rehypothecation, which essentially means when someone stakes their capital on the animal farm, we then use that as collateral to lend out to PancakeSwap on the back end. This allows us to earn an additional 30 to 40% APY, which comes out to millions of dollars every month that we can pay out in BUSD rewards on our farm. The day we were going to launch, PancakeSwap announced that they were shutting down their version 1 lending protocol and forcing people to migrate over to version 2. And our MasterChef, our Dogs MasterChef contracts, were integrated into version 1. So this means we had to make a decision that day. Should we go live today and then in a week or two have to essentially put the brakes on again to do the migration? Or should we put off going live for a week or two, do the migration before we go live? That way, once we go live, we're full steam ahead and we don't have to stop or put the brakes on in the future. We're ready to go. So because of this, we had to push that back a few weeks, but the plan for that is that next week we're going to go live with the pigs contracts, and then within 2 weeks from then we'll do the dogs migration. It takes some so our protocols are fully decentralized, which means whenever we have to do a large migration or anything like this, it takes the full commitment and the full it's a full community effort. So the people need to send in their tokens. They need to be the ones that migrate the liquidity, because we don't have access to the liquidity pool. This is for security and decentralized reasons. So this is why it's going to take a couple weeks, because we're going to have to give people at least a week to send in their dog tokens. And then once we're through with that, then we can push the migration, which will just be the following week. So the UI for Drip is built. It's 100% ready to go. We even collected the testimonials, because when we came up with the new Drip UI, I didn't want to look at what the standard was for DeFi projects or crypto projects. I wanted to look outside at traditional markets and who is spending the most capital and who is putting the most research into their user interface. And it's investment banks. So major investment banks like TD Ameritrade or Charles Schwab, they're putting billions of dollars into customer research to figure out what gets people to use their products when they access the site, and what gets people to access the site through search engine optimization and all of these different things that come into building a strong website. So we did a lot of research into how we should design our new UI to implement all of these features. And we've built it. So that's ready to go. And it's just a matter of us putting our attention into updating the site. Because it's already built. It's just about pushing it to the server now. And I want it to give it its full attention when we do that. I don't want to be launching the Animal Farm contracts at the same time we're doing the drip update to split attention like that. So essentially, we're going to do over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Essentially, there's going to be a major thing happening every week for the next 3 weeks. We're going to have the pigs contracts launching next week. The following week, we'll have people sending in their dog tokens for the migration. The week after that, we'll be pushing the Animal Farm update, and then I can focus on pushing the UI. So there's a lot of things I want to do for Drip that are that I kind of put on the sideline, so I could focus on pushing this Animal Farm migration. And as soon as we finish with that, I'm going to be putting my full focus back into promoting our existing platforms and pushing the next major development for Drip. And that includes a lending protocol that I'm very excited about. But the UI is already built, which means we could do that very quickly, like with a matter of weeks after Animal Farm. So that's something that I would say would be coming late next month or very early the following month.
Perfect. Yes, perfect.
Okay, another thing we wanted to talk to you about was the safety and the protection. Here in Italy, the wallet's hackers that participate to the Project DIP are a lot. Can you confirm that you have thought of an insurance to help all those that have had this problem? Because we, on the other hand, we have opened a fundraiser that thanks to Bizza, he's our honorary member, who has unfortunately experienced himself since he's been hacked about 1,000 times.
Oh no.
Yeah. But there are many wallets, so it's difficult to help everyone. So
yeah,
we wanted to,
Yeah, exactly. So with the thing with Drip is that the way people are getting their wallets hacked or exploited really has nothing to do with the Drip protocol. It's that we have so many new users that are coming into Drip, and a lot of people that are brand new to crypto that don't know some of the basic security measures that you need to take. Don't click on random links. Don't download something that's supposed to help you manage something. Don't share your seed phrase or your private keys with anybody. This is how people are getting their wallets exploited. And it's happening in Drip. It's happening in all projects, but one of the reasons it's happening to people in Drip is because Drip is such a very large project. Last year, it was the largest growing protocol on all of Binance Smart Chain for some like 8 months out of the whole year. So there's so many users, and the people that are trying to take advantage of that know this. They know there's a lot of new users in here, so they're DMing everyone. They're trying to take advantage of people. And I'm glad to hear that you guys are doing a fundraiser. And if you want to share the details with me, I could help with that and I could donate to that. But I do have a type of protocol that we can use for security, and it would involve people paying essentially a premium when they do a deposit on the faucet contract, and everyone's premium would essentially go into essentially an insurance treasury that would build up and be able to be used to pay out if someone gets their wallet exploited. So essentially, people pay a premium, which is a small percentage of the drip that would be paid out to them every day goes into this treasury and then is used to 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 remedy people that have got their wallets hacked. You know, if they paid the premium. So it would be an optional thing that you pay into. It would give you this protection. And this is definitely something that's possible to do. And it's something that I'm interested in doing. The major issue with it is a customer service issue. So I'm interested in doing it in a way that's automated, and is secure in its own sense, meaning that someone can't just claim that they were hacked and then try to get a payout, essentially, that would be an unfair payout. And that is a real issue. That's not an issue having to do with drip itself, but that's just an issue having to do with DeFi. It can be hard to essentially put an identity on a wallet and ensure that the person that did this hack, for example, is not the same user that's trying to collect the premium. So that's an issue, but it can be done. One way it could be done is by freezing up the account as soon as it's exploited before funds were removed from it. But once funds are removed from the account, then it becomes an issue, because the person could be claiming that they were hacked. They could remove the funds and then, say they were hacked and now try to get a payout when they were the ones that removed the funds.
Right.
So it's a matter of coming up with a extremely solid protocol. And it would have, really, the only way that it would work is the people would need to report that their wallet was hacked before a significant amount of capital was removed from the system, or the capital that was removed from the system wouldn't be able to be insured, but potentially their capital or their ROI moving forward could be insured. So essentially, if they had available funds, if those available funds were removed from the hacker, and then they were able, the person who was hacked was able to prove that this is my account, the account was hacked, we could then freeze that account, and then any future ROI that would be paid to this account could be paid to a sister account that would be under a different private key, so the hacker wouldn't have access to this. So I see ways that it's possible, but it's it would be a intensive development, and it would take a lot of thinking about how to do it properly, to ensure that it's not exploitable. So it's something that I'm definitely interested in. I tell people the major use cases that I'm interested in DeFi is lending, insurance, gaming, and privacy. Those are the 4 that I'm interested in. And I'm not just interested in providing insurance for a drip. I'm interested in providing insurance for all DeFi projects that are insurable. So Pancake Swap, Ape Swap, these major projects that have a low risk profile that would meet the risk profile for something that could be insured. So I could see a model that could be built to that wouldn't just be drip specific, and I can also think of a model that would be specific to drip, given our ROI system. So these are things that I'm very interested in working on, and it's just a matter of getting the work done. And when we finish with this animal farm migration, my main focus will be promoting and providing marketing for our existing platforms, the Reap DAO, Drip Network, and Animal Farm. These are our 3 major platforms. And my main focus will be providing marketing promotion for them and pushing the next development for Drip. So we'll see. I'm leaning towards lending, because I can think of a very cool lending protocol that I've already worked out the logic to, that will allow people to essentially lend out capital to other people that are members of the Drip network, and have that loan secured by the collateral in the stake of the person they lent to. So they could be insured that they're going to get paid back because the person who they gave the loan to has collateral in their drip stake. And then the person who takes the loan essentially has a self-paying loan because the loan will get paid back through their daily ROI. So this is something that I'm extremely interested in. That is, I'm certain that that's the next major thing that we're going to develop for Drip is a lending protocol. But insurance is something that's high up on the list as well, and I'm very interested in that. But for sure, give me the information about the fund that you're raising because I'm definitely interested in that, and I can contribute to that. I feel terrible for
Thank
people
you.
that were hacked, but this is just something that a lot of people learn in the early days of crypto. When I first got into crypto, it was in 2012. It was Bitcoin. I bought some Bitcoin. So a buddy of mine was running a sports book, basically sports gambling, and this was in the early days before it was in a gray area in the U.S. whether it was legal or not. It was legal in some states, not legal in other states, kind of like this. So it was very hard for them to get a payment processor for people to use online, like credit or debit. So my buddy was looking for an alternative to set up their payment protocol. So I did some research for him. I found out about Bitcoin, when it's like $14. I helped him set up a Bitcoin payment portal, essentially using a website that acted as a third party that essentially was a custodial party. So it held the wallets of everybody on the account, and then would allow people to cash in and out of the sportsbook with Bitcoin. And they were around for about a year until Bitcoin went over $100, and all of a sudden that website just disappears. And this is when I, really realized for myself, not your keys, not your crypto, right? If you don't hold the keys, if you cannot secure the keys, it's not your crypto. And thankfully, I learned this back in 2012 when it was, $14. And so, even, I even had to go through these things. And basically, unless you're kind of educated by someone that's very experienced and is going to take the time to educate you, this is a lesson that unfortunately a lot of people need to learn the hard way. And, it is what it is, kind of.
Okay. So the next question are the reservoir and the whale tax. The reservoir, so this section in Italy is not very used. What can you recommend to use to help improve this project?
Yeah, so I would say the main reason why the reservoir is not as used is because we don't have a referral system in the reservoir. So there's less incentive for people to talk about it and to share it with others. And also, it's a lower risk model. And people, for whatever reason, they're always interested in the higher risk, higher reward model, especially people that are newer. And whenever you have a very large crypto project, the majority of users are going to be newer users because crypto is a new space and a new market. So the reservoir is our liquidity providing contract. It allows users to provide liquidity to Drip's native DEX and earn liquidity provider fees, which are generated through 1% of every swap. So every time someone swaps Drip for BNB or BNB for Drip, it takes 1% of this and pays it out to those in the reservoir. Also, whenever BNB comes into the reservoir, new BNB, there's a tax put on it, which goes into a vault, and a percentage of this vault pays out every day. And what this effectively does is creates time-weighted rewards for liquidity providers. And we have the largest liquidity provider reward out of any DEX, and we're the only DEX that does time-weighted rewards, which means the longer you're a liquidity provider, the larger the rewards you get. Whereas all these other DEX have it so it's only taking into account the amount of capital that you're providing. Where in ours, it's possible that someone who is providing a smaller amount of capital to the DEX could be making more money and could be making a larger portion of liquidity provider fees just based on the fact that they've been providing that liquidity for longer. And when you can address the time value of money, because this is important. Something that makes people understand the time value of money very easily is if someone says, I'll give you $150 today, or I'll give you $200 next year. Everybody's going to pick $150 today, even though it's less money. That's because um, there is a value to time in relation to money. So the longer you provide capital and the earlier you are providing this capital, that has a intrinsic fundamental value in itself, and we represent that value through time weighted rewards. And that's very important that we were able to implement that. And that was one of the main reasons we created our own decks, was so we could address this this time weighted rewards. So that, and we wanted to implement a protocol where the tax isn't being applied on buying. And to do that, we needed to whitelist our own decks. So the reservoir has mechanics that you can't get in any other protocol for being a liquidity provider. And being a liquidity provider is known as one of the lowest risk models for generating yield. And with the reservoir, you're depositing BNB and you're getting out BNB. So you're earning yield in BNB. And this is another thing that's very rare in DeFi. Typically, you're depositing one of the major assets, and then you're getting paid out in the native asset of the platform. For example of this is you're depositing BNB or USDT, and you're getting paid out in sushi, for example. And we have developed a system in Reservoir that allows you to deposit BNB and get paid out in BNB. So how we get more people to use it is just by further educating people that this is a lower risk model, and there is value in diversifying through higher risk and lower risk. You don't want to be only in higher risk, higher reward models, especially if you're depositing larger amounts of capital. So, I would say the main thing we can do is educate people on better ways to manage their capital and the benefits that they can access through the reservoir, and also through the new UI. The new UI is designed to better educate people on the benefits of the different products on the site, get people more interested in using the products. The testimonials should help with that.
Mm-hmm.
A cleaner UI that just makes it easier to understand, easier to use. So these are things that have largely already been done, and it's just a matter of putting our focus back on Drip to really push it. And Drip is to me one of the most important products, if not the most important product that we launch. And it creates a very, very strong base. So with Drip, my motivations, because I never put a developer fee on Drip, I don't take a dime from Drip, I don't sell any Drip, I've never sold any Drip, I don't take a percentage of anything that's happening on Drip. My main motivations for Drip were to fill the demand that I saw that my friends wanted to access, and having a major promotional vehicle that can be used to build up a major investor base. And this is what the team referral structure was about. And then once we have this huge investor base created through the Drip protocol, then pushing them products that I see as having very strong fundamental value in DeFi. And that's projects that are, or products that are addressing lending, insurance, privacy, and gaming. So this was always my motivations with Drip, and I'm very, very excited to be putting my focus back on that.
Okay. And sorry, Forex, but Drip now has a stable of $13. Forecast on the year-end Drip price?
Well, I've never given price predictions, and if I had given price predictions, I saw very early on people were saying, "Can we hit $10? Can we hit $10?" Like, oh, going like celebrating so much when we hit $10. So if I was to give price predictions, I wouldn't have. I've always been very confident, but I'm also very, I'm conservative. So there's no way I would be able to predict that Drip would have been the fastest growing protocol in all of BSC for a whole year and all of these things. So what I would say is right now we're in a period where for the past I would say 4 months we really haven't put much focus on Drip itself. We've been building these exterior contracts which add value to Drip, but they add value to Drip kind of over the long term. They're not directly focused on Drip, but they're doing things like incentivizing people to add liquidity to Drip, like the Drip BUSD liquidity pool or farm on an animal farm, like the Drip Garden, and these various protocols that we built that support Drip, but aren't putting the full focus on Drip. And because of this, we've had the attention from the Drip community drive capital into these other supporting contracts and supporting projects. But and this along with the whole market taking a major correction, because the whole market is down quite significantly, like around 50%. If you do an average of all the major assets, the whole market's down about 50%. So when you take the fact that the whole market's down, and then DeFi in general is more volatile. So when the market's going up, DeFi goes up even more. And when the market goes down, DeFi goes down even more. So when you account for this, when you account for the fact that we're at the end of the year where a lot of the sustainability protocols haven't kicked in yet, the max payouts hasn't kicked in yet. They just started kicking in less than a week from now. So we had those very early whales, the people that got into the pre-sale, the people that got in on day one in the first week, etc. We're still draining the protocol. Now they're hitting their max payout, so they're no longer going to be able to drain the system. Every day that goes by now, another massive whale will be hitting their max payout every single day. The market, I feel very good about the market as a whole now. I think that we've essentially bottomed out. I believe Bitcoin's going to be hitting the around 150,000 mark on the next major move up, and I think we've basically bottomed out here at these levels. So I feel very good about the market as a whole. Our max payout is starting to kick in, and we're about to put major focus back onto Drip as far as the UI and our next major development. I have PancakeSwap, I have Chainlink, I have a major platform that just reached out a couple days ago that I have a meeting with when I get off of this interview. And the meeting that I'll be talking about there is lending single assets to them, like how we're lending our LP tokens to PancakeSwap, so we can earn yield on that. And the meeting is not just about earning yield on the animal farm single assets, but also potentially on Drip, which will be massive because that will be a ton of capital and additional yield we'll be able to generate on Drip that we're not generating now, that we can use to support the price, create additional dividends, maybe an additional contract that pays out in BUSD or whatever the asset that we're lending to, because they pay out in their own asset. So I have to work this out with the meeting. And then, I'm very excited about this new development that we're going to do for Drip, the lending thing. And then we have the scratch ticket model, which is something that is already built essentially, and we just need to have time to push it. And that's also something that I'm extremely excited about. So I think that there's no better time to buy Drip than right now. Even better than buying Drip say 6 months ago, or just because right now Drip has proven itself. I would say the first year was the hardest year for Drip because a lot of the sustainability mechanisms haven't kicked in yet, and all these other protocols lasted weeks, sometimes not even a week. The longest ones lasted a month or two. There were a lot of people saying, well, let's see what happens after 3 months, because if you're earning 1% a day, after 3 months, you're at 90%. Once people break even, they're just going to be withdrawing. A lot of people said these things, and we've really proven ourselves, and we've proven that we're a sustainable protocol that continue to operate at a high level. So, I would say there's no better time to invest in drip than right now, with a level of confidence that you could never have had, at any time before this. So, I see drip outperforming everything that we've done in the past, like, to a degree that's not even, not even recognizable to anything in crypto. I think that this lending protocol that we're going to bring in will be the largest thing in crypto, the first truly peer-to-peer lending protocol. That's going to be huge, right? I really believe this will be the biggest thing in crypto, and it's going to be tied directly into drip. So I think what we've done so far, as far as price movement, is nothing compared to what we're about to do.
Okay. Well, excuse me. Animal farm, garden, piggy banks, dog token. Those are a lot of projects around drip.
Yeah.
We can only say simply thank you. Thank you, and us in crypto Italian system believe in this deeply, and we are convinced that in Italy the ecosystem drip has a lot of room to grow.
Thank
and
you.
We are waiting for the future.
Thank you. Yeah, I would say that yes, there are a lot of contracts. I would say that moving forward, I have no interest in creating additional tokens.
Okay.
My only interest is in creating products that support our existing tokens. So there's a lot of development I want to do moving forward. I have a lot of ideas, and all of them will be tied into our existing tokens, or providing use cases for other major projects. But through creating value for these other major projects, we'll have some sort of mechanism where a percentage of those tokens that are used, for example, BNB or BUSD, whatever, go as rewards to our existing products, to drip, to Animal Farm. So that's where my attention is, and there's a lot of things to be excited about moving forward. And I thank you for the support. I'm very interested in doing more outreach to other communities. When I look at our user base, it's very heavily populated in the U.S. The last time I looked at who's accessing our site, it's over 80% U.S. And I know there's a very big world, so I'm very interested in doing outreach outside of the U.S.
Good.
So I appreciate this opportunity very much.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. Great. One last question. We wanted to talk about partnership. Mm-hmm. We heard about the Coinbase. Do you confirm that?
Yeah, well, Coinbase reached out because they want us to utilize their wallet. So Coinbase has a specific wallet, and we're in communications with them now. We are absolutely interested in doing that, but we're not going to do it just to do it, right? We're in negotiations with them. If we're going to implement their wallet, they need to do something for us, either some promotion, give us access on their website, something like that. And we're in negotiations with them. Okay. They're the ones that contacted us, just like PancakeSwaps, who contacted us, Chainlinks, who's contacted us. We are reaching out, but I think that it should give people more confidence, the fact that a lot of these projects have reached out to us, not the other way around. So they're the ones that are interested as much as we are. And, so there are a few major partnerships that are in the works. There is BetFury reached out to us, and they want to develop a game for Drip on their website, and also allow people to utilize Drip to play games on their website and earn BetFury for doing so. There's Chainlink, who reached out to us, and they wanted us to do pricing. So essentially, they were asking, how are we essentially, what oracle are we using to get the price of Drip to display on our website? And so they were interested in doing something like that, I told them that there's really no need to implement Chainlink to do pricing because we have no major mechanisms which are looking to an outside oracle to figure out pricing. But I was interested in, of course, partnering with Chainlink. So I told them, let me just come up with something that's a lot more interesting, something that we can all get more excited about promoting, and something that will really get you interested about it. So we came up with this scratch ticket model, which is amazing. It's a model that allows us to essentially take the traditional scratch ticket model, which is batches of tickets that are sold, 10,000 batches. This is the way that the traditional model works. And when these tickets are sold, there's a predefined number of winners. One jackpot, 5 tier 2 prizes, 50 tier 3 prizes, so on and so forth. And this is how they're able to be, such a successful business model, because they're able to pre-map out how much they'll be paying out, how much their tickets will be sold for, and of course, scratch tickets, they have no issue selling out their tickets. Now, this is an extremely successful model that no one has brought to crypto yet. So, I was interested in implementing it, but my interest was not so much how can we set up a lottery, because I want to also attract serious investors, not just people that want to gamble on a scratch ticket, essentially. So we came up with a type of NFT model where each ticket is represented by an NFT. You can access this NFT on our dashboard, and it presents on the dashboard as a digital scratch ticket, which you can use your mouse to scratch, see the results instantly, see if you won or lost, unlike other lottery protocols where you have to wait a week or wait till 48 hours until the clock ticks down. And then with these other protocols, when they do derive a winner, it's only one person, and then they that one person wins, everybody else is a loser essentially, and that's it, they move on. Where with our protocol, we have a wide variety of prizes that you can win. There's a large number of winners, so you have much greater odds of winning. And also, we're utilizing Chainlink to do provable, verifiable, trustless randomness. So a lot of these other protocols, basically all of them, are using on-chain values to derive who the winner is. And when you do this, and this is why most of their contracts are unverified. The reason why they're unverified is because if you can determine what values they're using to derive the winner, you can then reverse engineer that, create a bot which essentially operates in a sandbox, looks at the values and determines what does it need to do to influence the system to increase its probability of being a winner. And I've done studies on other lottery projects and was able to create a bot that gave me a plus 80% chance of winning the jackpot, which is only one jackpot, every single day, every single time. And if the so essentially the way it worked was it would look to see if I buy 10 or less tickets, will one of these tickets be a winner? And if not, don't do the transaction to buy the tickets. And it could interact with the contract in a way that increases probability of being a winner up to 80% or more, essentially. So, and then if it wasn't going to be a winner, it wouldn't buy the ticket. So essentially, this is how the vast majority of lottery models work. They're not using true randomness, and they're extremely exploitable, and people are exploiting them, and people just don't realize. So we're implementing Chainlink's VRF service to do provable, verifiable randomness, true randomness, and this is extremely important if you're going to have some sort of game like this. Now, on top of this, we wanted to ensure that it's also extremely attractive to uh, to serious investors, not just people that want to buy scratch tickets. So the way that we implemented this is that when you buy the NFT, you can instantly scratch it, which gives instant gratification. You know if you're a winner or not. If you didn't win, you can immediately just buy another ticket, try again. Or if you win a small prize, you could use that prize to buy more tickets right away, which is something you can't do in the existing models, which is something that makes it way more attractive, way more, it gamifies it a lot more. Now, if you don't get a winning ticket, so your NFT is not does not win a prize, you can then stake that NFT in our staking protocol, which represents a share of the protocol itself. So you get a share of all the BNB that's used to buy the tickets. So when you have a winning ticket, when the NFT is a winner, in order to claim the jackpot or to claim your prize, you need to burn that NFT, which means that there's no double dipping. If you win the jackpot, you're also that NFT doesn't also represent a share ownership of the platform. So when you buy a ticket, you're not just gambling. You're buying a share of the platform with a chance to win a large prize. And this is something that no other protocol offers. And the way that we're utilizing it to support our existing platforms are that we're using a type of white label service where we provide the service and then other platforms can utilize this service on their platform. And we have designers. So if, for example, when it's presented on the Animal Farm platform, we have the piggy bank scratch tickets. We have the drip scratch tickets for the drip platform, and etc. And depending on what platform the tickets are bought on, 20% of the BNB that are used to buy that ticket go towards buybacks of the token. So if the tickets are bought on the drip website, 20% of all the BNB used to buy those tickets goes towards buying drip and sending those drip to the vault to pay out rewards in the faucet contract. If those tickets are bought on Animal Farm, they're the 20% of BNB utilized there goes to buying the dog and pig token, sending them to a burn address, removing them from circulation, and we'll be providing the service to many other platforms and many other development teams for their website. We'll give them designs to match their website, and a percentage of all the tickets sold on their website, that BNB will also be used to buy our native assets, drip, dog, and pigs, and either remove them from circulation or send them to the drip vault. So this is something that we know is going to be very attractive to other platforms and other development teams. We have tons of people reaching out for them, and it's going to create a huge wave of cash flow that will be coming into our native assets. And this is another thing that's already been built. And the way we were able to build it while we have all these other things going on is I hired another dev team that built a game called Micro Pets, which is a very fun NFT game that has been very popular and has been very successful. And I essentially hired them to build this model, telling them the exact functionality that I wanted, sitting down with them, going through all of it with them, and it's essentially built. So this is another thing that we'll be pushing within the next couple months. So there's so much, on the roadmap. And like I said, this is another thing that is not coming with an additional token. Right. It's just products that support our existing tokens.
Okay. Well, FOREX, we wanted to thank you very much, also on behalf of the members of the Creepo team. It was an honor to have you live. Hopefully to see you soon again. And you're welcome here and all over Italy.
I would love to come to Italy.
You would love to come here?
I would
You're
love
going to have to come visit us then.
I would love to.
Okay.
Although, so I'm very careful about protecting my identity. Right. I think that's important because of all of the regulatory changes that are coming in crypto, in DeFi. Right. I don't want to provide, an attack vector that's regulators could try to come after me to try to hurt the
Right.
project. So I'm very, very careful protecting that. But I would love to come to Italy for sure.
Okay. Well, when you do come here, just think of us.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, is there anything else you want to say, Maurizio? There's nothing really
Thank you
else.
for having me so
Can
much.
you please say hi to everybody, the whole team?
Yeah.
In Italian. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Thank you. Ciao, ciao. And please invite me to your group. I'm not sure if I'm in your group yet, so please invite me in DMs to your group so I can be a member there.
Okay.
And I would love to come back. I'm always willing to make time to those who have been supportive of my projects, from the early days. And I really respect that. And thank you guys so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, we do our
Thank
best,
you.
to protect and support you because we believe in it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.